They are lining up a couple of rows further behind, not to mix with the faster Swifts, so that everybody can enjoy nice and safe start. So green flag being waved, everything is ready. Red lights are on, and we are racing. Christoph Zellhofer from pole, looks like he managed a good getaway. That was Dietrich also starting nicely, and we are now running down to the first corner. A sharp hairpin there. Everybody really heavy on the brakes. Cars are flashing their hazard lights, and both categories seem to be safely through the first corner there. A couple of drivers using the services of the runoff area. Ooh, all the way sideways through turn 2 was Dominik Hasselsteiner, and Christoph Zellhofer was a little bit too wide for his liking there, and that means he is now prone to attacks from behind. Zellhofer still leading, and now Hasselsteiner did not manage to get ahead, so he was very nearly overtaken by Kamil Serafin. Kamil Serafin was moving down the order in the first race after the start. This time out, he decided to be opposite and start moving up. So he's attacking very aggressively and trying to get himself in front of Dominik Hasselsteiner. Although I now believe that Dominik Hasselsteiner got the chicane and sort of remained in the battle, not really the sort of thing you should be doing. He's trying to get away with it, probably because it is the first lap of the race. Very carefully on that cement dust being put on the track before the endurance race, thanks to that spectacular failure of the BMW M4 of Ferenc Fica and Trevor Racing Team. All the drivers making it safely around, and now we are about to finish the first lap of the race. That was the swift first lap of the race. No major crashes, just a few bumps here and there, and battles going on just as the national anthems are being played for the successors, or let's say the successful drivers from the endurance race. And as there were really many categories to choose from, I believe that we will be hearing the anthems for a couple more laps there. Anyway, Dominik Hasselsteiner is now leading the race. Although the live timing screen says something else, I'm just going to ignore it because it is the car number 114. And Hasselsteiner was actually third across the start and finish line. But the first half of this lap was really brilliant from him, and he is now leading the race from Christoph Zellhofer. There they are. Everybody's still very close to each other, and that's the second group being led by Balázs Hartmann in the car number 505. Beautiful stuff still going on, and looks like Dominik Hasselsteiner decided to run away with it. We are finishing the second lap of the race, and this is Gábor team, who was so racy in the first round of the weekend earlier on today. Some of the cars really way out of the track there, exiting the last corner. And this is Max Wimmer, the winner of race number 1 here at Hungaroring. Gábor finally succeeding and overtaking Lajos Somsaid. Kamil Serafin still holding on to that second place. Well, actually, he has just overtaken Christoph Zellhofer, so he got himself up into second. And also Gábor finally succeeded there, so he's now 4th. Gábor looked really fast in the first race of the weekend, where he managed to get P5 on the grid, 3rd, and he was also troubling 2 guys. However, never really got ahead. Actually, the championship leader. So, if he manages to win this, he should definitely be the crowned champion. Max Wimmer in the battles as well. Sorry, it's not Dominik Hasselsteiner who is the championship leader, it is Gábor. I overlooked him in the table. Dominik Hasselsteiner is 2nd, and the battle between them is still very exciting. 28 points between them before this weekend. Considering that you get 20 points for the race victory, not all was set. But now Gábor has managed to pick up a couple more places, and he is now already up to P3. So Gábor making sure that the championship really ends up in his hands in the first race of the weekend. He lost out to Dominik Hasselsteiner, but only 2 points. So still 26 between them. And this result would definitely ensure that Gábor would become 2020 champion of the Suzuki Swift Cup Europe. Lajos back in the car, and Max Wimmer trying it around the outside of Martin Zellhofer. What to do there? Amazing how much ragged edge managed to do. Yep, in the second category, 1.6. Christoph Zellhofer under pressure again, this time from Lajos Somsaid. That was really close there. Car number 587, that was Maciej Banash in the mix as well. And behind them, this morning's winner, Max Wimmer. chicane really hard with the brakes. That's right. On again. Christoph Zellhofer having already lost 3 places. Starting pole. Definitely does not want to lose any more ground, but Lajos Tomsted finding himself in the escape runoff area. Ooh, and a bit of a sideways moment there. Again, that's always really exciting to watch, but it's definitely not the fastest way through a corner. You can be absolutely sure of that. Matej Banach down in 6th behind Lajos Tomsted. And both of them really trying to A, battle it out together, and B, get themselves up ahead. Christoph Zellhofer, who is definitely slower than his pursuers, and is a bit of a bottleneck or cork off the bottle here. Everybody's bunched up behind him. So Christoph Zellhofer under a lot of pressure that he needs to withstand. It's going to be difficult for him not to lose any more ground. We are approaching the halfway mark of the race. And this is the leading group of the 1.6 class, or the 1600 natural aspirated engined category. And in the lead of that is currently car number 533, Attila Pucci, being prepared by the group squad here, which is so very well known in the TCR world. For example, pairing the car of today's TCR Eastern Europe race winner Dusan Borkovic, but also claiming successes in the Hungaroring Car Cup. So a very, very experienced, very professional racing team who is placing its youngest drivers in such categories like Suzuki Swift Cup Europe. And for Attila Pucci, this is an incredible opportunity to gain valuable experience behind the wheel of a cup racing car. Attila Pucci currently holding the lead of his class, also holding the fastest lap of the race to 14.6, whereas Dominik Hasselsteiner, who is leading the faster cars, has done to 10.2. So around 4.5 seconds per lap difference between the two categories, and the battle is raging on in the leading class, battle for 4th, and it is currently Matej Banach who is already up to 4th. Behind him, Lajos Tomsted and Max Wimmer. All of them have found their way through and past Christoph Zellhofer, so Zellhofer losing more ground. He will be wanting to gain some of it back, and he's attacking Max Wimmer down the inside. But Max Wimmer will have this 3rd corner onto his hand. And still both Swifts remaining neck and neck, side by side, door to door, wheel to wheel, mirror to mirror, everything to everything. And in the end, it is actually Christoph Zellhofer currently victorious in that battle, and we are witnessing a beautiful scrap before as well. And that is Lajos Tomsted, who has just overtaken Matej Banach. Zellhofer back in front of Max Wimmer. 10 minutes to go. The Swifts drifting their way through the corners, being rather oversteering, which is also caused by the fact that the wheelbase of the cars is really, really short, of course. All of them basically falling under the category of a shopping bag on the wheels, as many people call these cars. They are fun and agile city runabouts. Instead of made for all the tight and twisty stuff, the Hungaroring should be really a suitable ground for Suzuki Swifts. So much harder to race these on tracks like, let's say, Slovakia Ring. Because very often there, these cars are nearly out of breath. This is a track a bit more to their liking. However, it's for the drivers, it is more difficult to overtake on a track like Hungaroring because really it is narrow and twisty. A lonely race for this chap, 5'11". That is Christian Fuge. He is currently stone dead last in the 1.4 category and some way away from the others there. Not actually sure if he still has anybody of his friends in his sight currently. I think they have all left him to it. So this is an interesting battle. Look at that. And that is basically a symbolic championship battle because this one is for the victory in the last race of the season. And actually, no matter what happens in this battle, either way, so let's say, irrespective of the order between these two in this race, doesn't matter who of these two wins and who of these two gets second, Gábor team would be the championship winner. However, as a symbolic victory, I believe this is now more important than anything else for both of them. Of course, Gábor team would love to win, finally win on his home soil. He didn't manage to do that in the first race. He was beaten by the Austrian guys. And for Dominik Hasselsteiner, it is at least a small bandage over the wound of being beaten to the championship title. Exploiting the chance to deprive the homeboy of his home country. There's a bit of a pride kicker. Dominik Hasselsteiner will do anything he can to stop Gábor team winning, and we've already seen this battle today. It was for second in the race number 1. There was Max Wimmer in front of these two. Now there isn't. So this one is for the outright victory, the last one of the season. Actually second last. A little carried away. I need to beg your pardon now, because of course there are 3 Swift Cup Europe races each weekend, and we'll see the last one tomorrow morning at 9. So still more fun to come. But anyway, it is still valid that now, even if Hasselsteiner wins and Gábor team finishes second, Gábor team will already be crowned the champion because, as already said, there are 20 points awarded for a race victory in the Suzuki Swift race in all 3 of the races. And 17 points for second place, which is a 3-point difference. And currently, Dominik Hasselsteiner entered this weekend some 28 points adrift. He managed to knock it down to 25, but now, if the race is finished as it is run at this very moment, then Dominik Hasselsteiner would get the points gap, down to 22 points, and that will be mathematically possible to get rid of in the third race alone. So second place is enough for Gábor. But as already mentioned, this is a question of pride now. Who wins this race is maybe more important than anything else in the world currently for these two guys. So Gábor, I would say, desperately wants that hybrid. Maybe desperately, but really a lot. Ooh, and look at that. He's just absolutely on the edge. And he very nearly lost it in the second to last corner. Exactly the same thing we said about the last corner. But somehow he still manages to stay with Dominik Hasselsteiner. Wonderful stuff there. But this way, he keeps us excited and entertained. But this way, he's not going to overtake Dominik Hasselsteiner. He needs to be so much more close to him and actually exploit some of the corners, some of the differences there. Now, for example, Hasselsteiner didn't get the best of exits, but Gábor is just not close enough. There they are. Really interesting. Yeah, look at that again. A sideways moment, or a beginning of a sideways moment for Gábor, but he did get away with it. Back into the real picture. Hasselsteiner is still in the lead. 2 minutes, 10 seconds left on the clock. So this is the penultimate lap of the race. Because 2 minutes 10, that's also the value of the fastest lap of the race so far. 2 minutes, 10 seconds, set by Dominik Hasselsteiner earlier on. Now, as inspired all four, as beautifully demonstrated again by Gábor's slides, the lap times also drop down. So currently, 2:11.4 by Hasselsteiner, 2:11.7 by Gábor. Everybody else over 2:12. What is it like in the Swift 1.6? The times didn't drop just as much, but still dropped. 2:15 by Attila Pucci. And this is actually Blaž Hartmann, who is currently third in his class, 6 seconds behind the race leader Attila Pucci, and 3 seconds behind the second place man Adam Lengyel. Last lap of the race ended right now with Dominik Hasselsteiner still in the lead, and Gábor very close indeed. So will he try something? He's having a look, but he's not close enough. And I believe that Gábor realizes very well that as much as he wants that victory, making something stupid would not really be advisable now, because he could also lose much more of his, let's say, championship gap. And if he crashes out and Dominik Hasselsteiner wins, then the gap would go down to 5 points. And that would get Gábor into real trouble. This way, keeping second secures the championship win for Gábor. So it's absolutely obvious that he wants that win on the home soil, and he's trying to get it now into the chicane. He's still sort of missing something, just that last little bit. And I believe that he's not going to risk it for it. if the situation comes, he's gonna do it. But he's not gonna do it at any cost, that's for sure. Or maybe it isn't, and we will be incredibly surprised in a couple of seconds. Let's see. Last sector of this race coming up now. Last 3 corners. What is Gábor going to do? Actually, those winding last 2 corners have already shown us this weekend that you can actually come attacking out of nowhere, and if the driver in front of you makes a mistake and leaves the door open, leaves the inside line open, then there's place to attack. But Dominik Hasselsteiner knows it and keeps his Swift absolutely glued to the inside line, and Gábor will not make it on the second occasion either. Dominik Hasselsteiner, this time it is for the first place, so Dominik Hasselsteiner wins race number 2 out of 3 for the last weekend of 2020 for the Suzuki Swift Cup Europe. Gábor finishes second, so doesn't get that desired home win, but does get that desired championship win. So Gábor is the Suzuki Swift Cup Europe champion for 2020. 5:07. That is actually a fight for the podium in the 1.6 category between Balázs Hartmann and Gergő. And it looks like Gergő could have it. Both of them driving side by side. This is a very exciting finish for the third place in the 1.6 class. Beautiful stuff going on there. And Gergő looks like he's going to get it. Yes, he is. Gergő stealing third in the last possible moment from Balázs Hartmann. Wonderful stuff there. So Attila Bucci victorious in the 1.6 class from Adam Lengyel. Gergő third in the end in front of Balázs Hartmann. In the Suzuki Swift Cup Europe 1.4 class, it is Dominik Hasselsteiner victorious. Gábor 0.3 of a second behind him over the line, across the line, but the crown champion Kamil Serafin will enjoy a podium today for finishing third. Behind them, Lajos Somszéd, Matej Banás, morning winner Max Wimmer in sixth. Behind them, pole sitter Christoph Zellhofer, his brother Martin Zellhofer, and then Fabian Ockmann and Daniel Lemmerhofer completing the top 10. So beautiful stuff. Some of the drivers still finishing the race, just like here, the stone dead last, Johannes Madertaner, car number 121, also across the line. So we've got everybody home already. And the track marshals greeting everybody again. And maybe getting a bit of a workout or a bit of a cardio with the flags and keeping warm in this cold weather at the end of October in Hungary. So that's it for the Suzuki Swift Cup Europe for today. As mentioned, we will be racing again with Suzuki Swift Cup tomorrow morning at 9, and then the action will continue all the way through the day. So for now, however, it is it for the international live feed for Saturday's program. But on the track, there are also a couple of qualifyings planned for tomorrow's races. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for being with us in this live stream. I hope you enjoyed it. And with the Sunday action planned, it is a, I believe, great invitation for tomorrow So, having decided the Suzuki Swift Cup Europe Championship, it is now from me, Pavel Fabry, your commentator for the day and for the weekend, a very warm goodbye.